Well, the trade deadline of the century came and went. There was a groundbreaking, unimaginable bombshell coming out of Dallas.
We definitely understand the magnitude of what just transpired.
Steph Curry got a much-needed, meager upgrade in Golden State that might not come to fruition, but hell, at least they did something. LeBron, meanwhile, turned in a top 10 player league-wide for a top 3 player on earth, or as Lakers general manager Rob Pelinka would have you know, the universe.
We're talking about a 25-year-old that is top 3 player in the universe.
Victor Wembanyama, in just his second season in the NBA, got his all-star caliber and former All-NBA running mate De'Aaron Fox, and hell, even the Bucks made a move, dumping the oft-injured Chris Middleton for Kyle Kuzma. But ho-hum, the best player on the planet, without close comparison, Nikola Jokic, 3-time league MVP, that is, Nikola Jokic, who is smack dab in the best season of his career. Damn it, arguably the single best offensive season ever, gets absolutely nothing. But then again, that is nothing new, because while he is the best in the game doing what he does, unfortunately for him, his bumbling moron general manager, Calvin Booth, is the worst at doing what he does.
What an idiot!
Now, I know what you're thinking. Nico Harrison is still breathing and employed by a team as general manager.
We're excited to go. We feel like we're built to win now as well as in the future.
And yes, while that Doncic trade seems to be the misstep of the century, at least he had the good graces to not destroy a historically all-time great player's career and move him. Jokic, however, is just perpetually held hostage by the continued ineptitude of this guy. And even he knows it.
Because you got one career with him here, so.
Literally wasting a generational player because he doesn't want to part with his assets, whatever the hell they are.
We realize that Joker's time is now, and if the opportunity presents itself to use those assets to really improve our team, I think we're close in a couple of things and feeling that way this trade deadline. We're going to do that.
Yes, Calvin thought there were realistically only 2 options for him and the Nuggets as the deadline was approaching.
Yeah, I think this trade deadline was a little bit different from the last one. I think we had a little bit more to work with asset-wise. But I think the best way to describe it is we either had to go big or do nothing, right? And,
yeah, so of course he went the nothing route, which again is nothing new for Jokic. 10 years about to be in the books, not one single all-star teammate ever. And what more can this guy realistically do? He is firmly averaging a triple-double while sitting 3rd in the league in scoring, 3rd in rebounds, 2nd in assists, and 11th in steals. That is while he is leading the NBA in player efficiency rating and box plus minus over Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and by the way, it isn't even close. In fact, Jokic is currently sitting at the highest single-season PER and BPM ever in NBA history, while also outpacing Shai in value over replacement and even leading the league in win shares, despite the Nuggets having 7 fewer wins than OKC at the moment. And Jokic is currently adding 20 points per 100 possessions he is on the floor. Yeah, all of that is good for just 3rd in the Western Conference. Barely. As they are currently tied with both the Rockets and Lakers in the loss column, thus could realistically drop to the 5 seed with just 1 loss. Their +5 net differential is good for 6th best in the NBA, which just about mirrors their current title odds that sit at 6th best league-wide. Look, the Nuggets are not a bad team, but they certainly are not anywhere near good enough to remotely sniff a championship as constituted. Plus, other teams around the Nuggets were getting better, especially in the front court, which will make it more difficult on Jokic come playoff time.
A lot of size and length out west. It's going to be a battle in the paint. It's going to be really physical.
But Calvin ultimately was feeling good about their roster.
It's really difficult to determine our starting lineup, right? So we have 6 or 7 starters.
This man said that shit with a straight face. Say it again, Calv.
So we have 6 or 7 starters.
Looking at box plus minus currently, which Jokic leads the NBA in and is sitting at the highest mark ever at, over 2 points higher than second place in that metric SGA, but the Thunder have 5 total players ranked inside of the top 70, with Chet Holmgren set to be the 6th top 70 rated player upon his pending return. The Nuggets, meanwhile, have just one, only Jokic. Their 2 best non-Jokic players right now, Michael Porter Jr. is rated 74th league-wide, and Russell Westbrook checks in at 80th. So Nikola Jokic's best 2 players are a guy in Russ, who many thought shouldn't even be in the league anymore when the Nuggets signed him this summer, and that was after he was jettisoned from both LA teams, and Michael Porter Jr., who is squarely in his best season ever as a pro, a 6-year career in which he averages just 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 1.5 assists per game, while never coming remotely close to a single All-Star selection or All-NBA nod. That is what Jokic is supposed to compete for a title with.
It's a complete crap.
And yet, Calv here thinks they have 7 starters.
So we have 6 or 7 starters.
And he liked everything in their rotation.
I think we liked everything that was happening in our rotation.
And one of the major reasons they are so hamstrung currently against the first apron is due to the massive contract extension that Booth gave Jamal Murray in the offseason.
Obviously, we're limited because we're above the first apron, so we're going to be limited in the guys we can look at.
Murray, who is now committed the 5th highest amount of money in the league, how does $243 million grab you for a guy who is rated 105th league-wide in box plus minus and 104th in value over replacement? So you have roughly the 100th best player in the NBA making over $50 million a year.
It's a complete crap.
Oh, and an absolutely laughable replacement level center to back Jokic up, which forces him to play as much as possible, as he's 8th currently in minutes per game this season. Booth, of course, sure would have liked to get another big.
We're going to need health as we're constructed right now. I think, overall depth and depth at the backup center would have been questions that we would like to address at the deadline. I think DeAndre has done an admirable job, but he's long in the tooth, and he's been durable, so that's been good. But adding another piece that coach is comfortable playing there would have been nice.
But as long as Aaron Gordon stays healthy, he thinks they should be fine.
I think as long as Aaron stays healthy, we should be okay at the backup 5, but
unfortunately, Aaron Gordon isn't healthy. He's played only 30 of the Nuggets' 52 games this year so far, and continues to be hampered by a nagging calf injury that has him sitting at his lowest points per game total since his 3rd year in the league, all the way back in 2016. And none of this, by the way, even mentions the Nuggets bench, which is lousy. Another thing Booth was aware of.
And we have we have a drop off after that. So, and I think it's not an insult to anybody, to Julian or any of the other guys on the roster, but I just think that's where we're at.
To this stage in the 2024-2025 season, the Oklahoma City Thunder have the best net rated bench unit in the league, followed by the Boston Celtics, Cleveland Cavaliers, and Houston Rockets to round out the top 5 best-rated bench units in the NBA, in that order, with the Knicks in the 6th slot. Noticing anything about those teams? Yeah, they're the best teams in the league, while the Nuggets bench is currently rated 20th in the NBA, behind the Charlotte Hornets and Chicago Bulls. And yet, the trade deadline came and went with nothing. not even at bare minimum getting Jokic's longtime Serbian national teammate Bogdan Bogdanovic out of Atlanta, who was available as he was traded to the Clippers in the waning moments of the deadline for Bones Highland and Terrence Mann. But not a damn thing from Calvin Booth.
We either had to go big or do nothing, right?
Nothing, that is, but another wasted year of Nikola Jokic's career, as he sets to turn 30 this month. And let's not mince words here. Calvin Booth is a bum. Look, I don't want to see anyone get fired. Scratch that. There are few people I want to see get fired, and Calvin Booth is at the very top of that list. I am legitimately at a loss to come up with a more pathetic individual on planet Earth at their job. How this guy even got the job in the first place is a mystery to me. But it is time finally to fire this scrub. And if that happens, at least the Nuggets did get something out of this trade deadline. A little addition by subtraction. And if you want to see just how little help Nikola Jokic has had throughout his career compared to the other historical greats he is going to be routinely compared to, take a look at the full breakdown in this video. And if you are not subscribed, please consider doing so at this time to stay up to date with me. Until next time.